For those of you who know me, you should know by now I've been obsessed with the Vanguard's series of ships in Star Citizen, specifically the Sentinel, for as long as I've been playing this game. I mean, I've been flying it since my first week, and I flew it exclusively for about the first year I played almost. Well, with 323 and Master Modes hitting, and the current state of a lot of ships, most people completely looked over the Vanguard. There's a lot of issues it has now that it didn't have before. It's not nearly as competitive as you could have made it in the old flight model. And its bespoke weaponry is now no better than any other equivalent size 2 weapon. The video that you're about to watch, if you follow the whole thing through, is going to explain the majority of my gripes with it. Of course, I'll probably forget something, but here goes fucking nothing. No, you're not hallucinating. That was only 3 trigger pulls from an F7A with M-series cannons. Here it is again in slow-mo in case you missed it. So, the F7A Mark II has 1660 DPS and 3545 alpha, 3545 alpha with all M-series cannons. Max powered weapons, you get 9 shots per gun. That's a pretty large amount of damage that one single seat ship can put out. Now people are going to say, oh well, the Vanguard, it takes 2 people because it's a long range ship. You have that interior, I mean, for a reason. Okay, well, let's see what the damage on the Vanguard is. M7A, MVSA, 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 M4As for the gunner, 2486 alpha for the pilot, 675 for the gunner. You only get that extra damage if you have a gunner, which just barely puts you over 3000 alpha damage total. Sure, you can shoot off bore with a gunner, but what good's that gonna do you if you die in 3 trigger pulls? It's 1 magazine for a Mark II Hornet, gets to strip your shields and kill you in a Vanguard. Let's go over to the Cutlass Blue. 2026 alpha for the pilot, 1013 alpha for the gunner, if you're all on M-series cannons. 45,750 health for the Cutlass Blue, which is almost double what the Sentinel is, right? Not to mention the fact that you have 47 pitch, 39 yaw, and 135 degrees in roll, which is a good chunk better than the 38, 32, 120 the Vanguard gets. And that's not just the Sentinel, all the Vanguards are sitting at about that right now. So let's see what the Sentinel has going for it to justify it being so fucking weak to a fucking medium fighter. Cooling modules right behind the pilot. Shield generators and power plants right behind the pilot. So all those components nice and fucking close together in one nice fucking spot. A single missile can probably take out half of them. You got your empty component slot here because, not implemented. Empty component slot there, not implemented. Double computer bay. Also not implemented or functional for turret blades or AI blades at all. Get your engineering station, which is standing room only apparently, no seat. So force reactions, try dealing with that shit when you're in a combat situation, get thrown on your ass. This panel, which does literally fucking nothing other than look cool. You got your 2 beds. You got your functional bathroom floor that doesn't let you fall through it anymore, at least. Oh, look at that, you got your shitter for your space hygiene roleplay. You have a fucking storage box that fits almost no storage boxes actually in it, and usually glitches the ship out whenever you try to close stuff with it in it. Gun rack is cool though, that works. And your quantum drive. But none of these other panels do anything at all. Nothing. There's literally nothing there. So, there's a slot for a switch that's not there. Slot for a door switch that's not there. Slot for another door switch that's not there. There's even little lighted buttons that don't do anything. Remote turret access or manual turret access on the roof. Default sucker punches, which are pretty shit right now. Ship firing arc. You can't see anything directly above you. Average traversal speed. Gyro, exit, switch fire, power off. You have 2 MFDs, one for self status for the ship and one for your target status, which is nice. And that's about it. So something that gets 3 shot with no shields by a medium fighter with full cannon loadout, arguably the most meta fighter we have right now because of the weapon loadout, has almost nothing going for it other than range and bets. It's too sluggish to get nose on for the size 2 bespoke pilot weapons. The gimbal size 5 weapon is manual gimbal only, no auto. EMP has one of the slowest charging rates out of everyone in the game. Actually, let's go ahead and do this. Weapons. EMP on. Let's start charging. Wow, charged almost 30 fucking seconds later. So let's look at the Bespoke Vanguard nose guns. The weaponry you cannot change out for the average weapons that everyone else can equip on any other hardpoint because they're bespoke. MVSAs, size 2 laser cannon, 337 alpha, 100 fire rate, 1000 meters a second velocity, 2300 range. GVSRs, which are equivalent to an attrition size 2. 96 alpha, 350, 1000, 2300. BRVSs, ballistic repeaters, equivalent to the Sawbuck size 2s. 1000 ammunition count. 54 alpha, 500 rounds a minute. 1200 meters a second. 2304 range. Wow, that extra 4 fucking meters is going to make a huge difference, right? CVSAs, 1200 speed, 2300 range. Distortion repeaters and distortion cannons, 2301 range, 1300 meters a second. So the fastest weaponry the Vanguard can equip in its bespoke weapon range for the pilot, 4 of the 5 weapons a pilot has are bespoke. Fastest you can get is 1300 meters a second. If you want anything faster, you need to go and you sacrifice your armor penetration capabilities with the size 5 hardpoint, whenever that comes into play, and equip one of 5 size 5 weapons. Oh, excuse me. 6, 7. Because if you want something with good velocity, you need to equip a Rhino, which is downsized, Light Strike, Goldarine, or another Light Strike. CIG has a bad habit of unleashing the new hotness and just pushing all the older ships and vehicles to the background. They don't really get much love, and I know the Vanguard already got its rework a few years ago to bring all the holes in line with each other. But ever since they pushed through with the bespoke nose weaponry, and Master Modes was hit with no adjustments or changes to them, it's gimped. It doesn't have the nose authority to get on target on anything the size 2s are meant to kill. Medium fighters, heavy fighters, light fighters. It doesn't have the punch to take down ships larger than itself with only a single size 5 hardpoint, and without any high velocity weaponry for the bespoke weapons, well, what is it gonna do? You can't punch through armor with size 2 weapons. And for any chance of hitting something smaller, you need to sacrifice your size 5 hardpoint, the size 5 which is meant to punch through armor. The start of ship-to-ship weapon sizes. Ultimately, we all know CIG moves at glacial speeds when it comes to balancing ships, balancing weaponry, especially bespoke weaponry, and getting stuff in a working order. The Vanguard still doesn't have its modularity. The only ship in the game that does is the Retaliator. The Vanguard still doesn't have its buck kits implemented. The Vanguard still doesn't have any strong fucking roll because of how gimped it is compared to running a couple solo fighters. Multi-crew overall is in a shit state, but this one hits real close to home for me, as it's the first ship I really fell in love with in this tech demo. If you watch this video to the end, go ahead and leave a like, comment, tell me why I'm wrong or why I'm right, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hell of a shot. Threat to worry about.